Hey, it's Shana Meyerson with Yoga Athletica in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, it's me without the braids. Believe it or not, they do come out sometimes. Today, I want to talk to you about just some quick things you can do if you're feeling any pain in your rest. A lot of people contact me saying that they just started like a massive handstand practice or arm balance practice or just got into regular stuff on their hands and that they're experiencing pain in their wrists. Know, first of all, that this is extremely common. So common, in fact, that when I started doing tons of handstands and stuff, I was convinced that I was working on some sort of stress fracture in my hand. Turns out it was nothing. It's just that your arms aren't really used to having all of the weight of your body on your wrists. So it takes some getting used to. The good news, it's very rarely an injury that you have to worry about. So, as with all pain, be mindful of it. Don't go past any edges. But know that most likely you're going to live, and so will your rest. So, first things first, this is just a basic concept, is if you're experiencing a lot of pain in your wrists, make sure, first of all, that your palm is flat and you are not leaning into the pinky side of your hand. Okay? So how do we do that? We make sure that the first knuckle of the first finger, meaning this knuckle right here, is flat on the floor. Okay? If that's flat on the floor, it will make sure that you're putting pressure on the inside of the palm instead of the outside, which should help to alleviate some of the pressure on your wrist. Point 2 on hand positioning. Typically, we have middle fingers facing forward in arm balances and inversions. If you're feeling pain in your wrist, consider turning your hand out just a little bit so that your pointer finger is facing forward instead of your middle finger. Remember, you never want to balance with hands sideways because if you fall, that's going to make for a massive problem for you. So, middle fingers is classical. If you want to, turn them out just a little bit so your pointer fingers facing forward. They'll make things a little easier. Now, these are two very basic things that I do when I'm experiencing wrist pain, and in fact, I do it in between almost all of my handstands. Number 1, grab your wrist with your opposite hand and make a fist, and then go backwards and forward like this. Now I'm actually gripping with my opposite hand. I'm not just holding it or just touching it, but I'm gripping it. It doesn't matter if you grip from the top or the bottom. But if you grab from the top like this, it gets a little bit more into the carpal tunnel. Okay? So you could just do this, forward and back. Okay? The second one, and this one is actually even more effective, is the funky chicken. What's the funky chicken? Take your hands so they're facing backwards on your rib cage and then pull your elbows back. It's going to give you a huge stretch for your wrist. So you can actually sort of go forward and back if you want to. Now the point isn't to like be a chicken. It's just that going forward will release it for a moment and then just pull it back again. Okay? So this is an amazing wrist stretch. Remember also, guys, your wrists are connected to your elbows, which are connected to your shoulders. So be mindful of the way that you might be abusing those. Remember that it's always shoulders back and down. So never a bad idea in between handstands to renew that back and down position and just make sure that you're always working from here. Again, I wouldn't worry too much about the wrist pain. I'm not a doctor and I can't diagnose your wrist pain, but I'm just saying, in general, it's not something you super have to worry about, but be mindful and take your time in between arm balances and inversions to release your wrists and your shoulders. It will help. This is Shana Meyerson with a little Heal You Up Quickie. I'll see you next time.